dear Emilia, dear city leaders, dear our friend Pak Tau, colleagues. A very good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all of you. As Emilia's mentioned, since 25th of March, UCLG, Metropolis, and UN Habitat host this live learning session now twice a week. Earlier is once a week. Now I think now every week, even twice a week. Yes, we listen to cities because we care. We care about cities. That's why we do it twice a week. And we listen to cities, experts, and also academicians and the business sectors on the issues of housing, mobility, information technology, migration, culture, and more. And today on the local finance is one of the most important factor in this COVID-19 and also the post-COVID-19. So obviously the check comes, let us give a moment of thought for the city treasurers in the world now trying to pay the bills. Debt are outstanding, tax revenues collapse, incomes of people and business have disappeared, and welfare payments and subsidies escalate. So on the 17th of April 2020, our United Nations Secretary General has launched Debt and COVID-19, a global response to solidarity. So countries, cities need funds to tackle the immediate emergency and deal with the immediate social economic impact. Then they need funds to recover better, with more resilient against future shock. Leaving no one behind and no place behind after the outbreak is a commitment we must make now and we must plan for now. Today, I announced the UN Habitat COVID-19 response plan online, our new way of doing things now. By now, I want to share more than 1,400 cities in the world are affected by COVID-19. 95% of the cases are in urban areas. My concern, UN Habitat concern, is for the 1 billion people living in overcrowded slums. We know that 1 in 3 people in the world lack adequate access to safe water and sanitation. UN Habitat can help cities and communities in 64 countries now this year. But for this, we need 72 million US dollar. These funds are to support government and local authorities to better plan interventions and target assistance. Communities in informal settlement needs community-driven solution. Local government departments need data and map. City leaders need policy support. For us in Kenya, UN Habitat is supporting the government's effort to collect data and improve access to water and sanitation facilities in informal settlement and to prevent COVID-19 spreading through urban transport system. We are working with civil society and community organizations to ensure integrated, coordinated responses. In Sri Lanka, UN Habitat is supporting provincial, council, and local authorities to establish a service provision database, facilitating online discussion with local authorities on their emergency response and training them online reporting services they provide. In Iraq, UN Habitat is reorienting its existing activities to carry out COVID-19 responses, focusing on water, very basic water, sanitation, and hygiene, shelter improvements for the most vulnerable, job creation, and public messaging. In Latin America, we prepare the intervention in Guatemala, Honduras, and El Salvador through integrated blended short-term investment in informal settlement. Many of these interventions needs to be budgeted and financed by member states and local government, and as much at larger scale, more often than not, without external support. The budgets for 2020 needs to be redrawn and financial planning for the next 2 years should start. So the financial needs are very immense, I can imagine, at the local level too. At historic times, as we are in now, we need to have a clear vision. Cities and local government have no central banks. But let us be mindful that central banks exist on the basis of trust. Trust in the state as a guarantor and multilateral system in support. Successful cities and local government has something alike: trust in public services, trust that they support and guarantee a quality of life for all citizens. All cities and local government should ensure that they support all citizens fairly, including those in the informal sector. Participation and community-supported solution enhance trust in the support of local government. Data are essential for trust. Local government institutions must be able to show credible data, allowing state institutions and private sector to plan ahead and target intelligently and to provide local finance. Cities and local government should also be upfront about capacity problem and support financial innovation and financial management training from top to bottom. This is also the time to set up a new dialogue, new vision to systemic failures, and to seek the trust and credit worthiness for innovation development beyond the outbreak. This is the time to plan for more internal and public accountability mechanism for budgeting and spending, and to seek new compacts to increase municipal revenues, and also with new incentive. Trust, municipal governance in municipal finance capacity is also essential to support more effective subnational borrowing and to see through regulations in the financial sector that enhance the appetite of subnational borrowing. A final piece in the jigsaw puzzle of trust in public service is commitment. Local government should commit to a more just society, cities without slum and without overcrowding, and realization of the SDG. This commitment should be the basis for all government's plan. COVID-19 should not lay the ground for failure and another crisis. Planting the seed for recovery is in itself an act of financial management. Borrowing today for the harvest to come. Action of cities today are the down payments for a better future. Bankers are masters in leveraging short-term needs with long-term expectation. They are masters in trust and solidarity. In the same vein, cities and local governments should seek new compact with citizens, compact of trust and solidarity, and will be the basis for recovery and resilient future. I am grateful, Amelia, to be among mayors, deputy mayors, financial leaders today, and your experience and insight are solution to this crucial to support our community and people most in needs. Without you, we cannot plan to get us beyond the outbreak. So we need financial means to do our work. And that's all. I would like to say thank you very much. And I wish I can join you, but I have to take my leave now. Please take some time to look at our website. And we are here together with all of you. Let us collaborate, unite, and solidarity. Thank you very much. Over to you, Emilia. Thanks.